Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So yesterday I recorded a video about a dilemma that I'm having. For the first time in a long time, I'm at a job that doesn't feel toxic, right? I talked about how my last job wasn't toxic, but there was a lot of things that were outside of anybody's control, let's put it that way. And then in a previous life, I was working at a technology startup, and I got treated very differently, like a second-class citizen. People would give me all the undesirable tasks, and I didn't bond with my colleagues. That's the problem. When all of my other colleagues have spouses and children, they have common interests, and I didn't bond well with that. And then there was this other tutoring center I was working at, where my boss, I hate to say this, but he's a little bit old, and sometimes he's old-fashioned with his ways of life, and perhaps, I'm just speculating here, he might have some minor mental decline at his age. And he would often forget things that he had told me before. I had scheduled a day off the day after the lunar eclipse, and somehow it went through the gaps, right? He forgot it, he didn't write it down. I should have put it in an email. I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because I really despise the fact that at my current job, would I put stuff like that in writing? Yes. I hate that I have to do it. Because I like to be able to trust people, right? Imagine in the dating world, if you started putting everything in writing, that's the end of the relationship right there, right? And so sometimes I really despise putting things in writing, even when I do it. Let's put it that way. But he had forgotten and scheduled me for something, and when I went up to talk to him about it, he treated it like I never asked for the day off. I don't know if he genuinely forgot, or whatever this is, or he's embarrassed to admit that he messed up. And so when I went home that night, I was like, that's it. And I decided to look up all of the solar and lunar eclipses that would happen in my lifetime and add them to his calendar. And made a huge mess on his calendar. Actually, I don't think he ever deleted it, because to this day I still get reminders, and I think they get sent to him too. And maybe he kept it as a funny footnote of the situation. And so when I think about my history, I don't want to do anything that might jeopardize my job. Could I take a couple days off to... yeah, I probably could. Here's the thing, though. Right now, the government is shut down. I had really hoped, I don't think I'm going to do it now, I had really hoped to go to Yosemite to view the supermoon, which is tomorrow night. But then I realized that it's a 10-hour drive. Here's the other problem. I feel very disadvantaged for being single. If there were two of us driving 10 hours, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. We might even be able to go somewhere else aside from Yosemite, right? Let's see, where else would I like to go there? I probably want to visit Six Flags, either the one in San Francisco or the one in Los Angeles. I've been to both of them, among a few other things. Oh, definitely take a walk around both San Francisco and Los Angeles to see if there's any buildings I could do out of Legos. And so I feel disadvantaged for being single. If I try to do that on one person driving, it's not going to go very well. I end up having to park somewhere and sleeping. I have a funny story about this, actually. I was on my way to a solar eclipse in Albuquerque, and I desperately needed to catch some sleep, but I didn't want to miss the eclipse. So I pulled into a gas station, and I looked at the door. They open at 7 o'clock, which is around the time I needed to get up. So I parked my car horizontally, blocking the door, so that when the employees show up, I knew somebody would have to angrily wake me up. That was what I was thinking. See, if I had a partner to drive with, I wouldn't have to think about that, right? And if I didn't have so many toxic jobs where I'm in the one that hasn't run into, well, I got to point out, it hasn't run into any of that, right? If this weren't the 1 out of 10 or 20 jobs, I'd probably be more willing to do that, to take the trip to California, right? And also, here's the other piece of the sorrow. 3 years ago, when I pranked my former boss and put all that crap on his calendar, it made me realize how few there were during my lifetime. Oh, that really hurt when more so than the fact that he didn't let me take a day off. And so it's just sad how constrained our lives are, right? We can't have it all, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.